What do you make of it?
I thought it would be scrappy early. Didn't think our pressure was where it needed to be. And probably took us a little bit of time to adjust. So I thought the conditions made it a pretty scrappy game, which a cross breeze is probably the most difficult breeze for players, especially for their kicking, but which probably hampered the spectacle a bit. I was happy with how we bounced back and from a poor start and got the game on our terms. There's like all pre-season games, there's areas that we liked and areas where we just a bit rusty, and thought they brought some really good pressure and they get numbers around the ball, and probably just took us a while to adjust to that. But overall I thought it was a good hit out. Worked through some issues and problem solved well, and there's some things we need to clearly improve on, but I think every club would be in the same position this year, at this time of the year.
8 goals out of your 3 key tools, and they're all having impacts in different ways from the game. Is that one of the more pleasing elements for you?
Yeah, I thought they functioned well. Clearly there's some opportunities missed with our connection at times. We kicked it at Jai's feet a fair bit and that type of thing, but I thought that the way they worked together and led at the ball was really strong. I think we marked the ball inside 50 a lot, and off the back of those guys as well, but I thought we were able to share the ball around in our front half, and I think they all had, all those tools had their moments, but I thought JT as the game went on was just really strong. Showed his pre-season and has been strong and has improved, and I thought the other guys all had their moments as well.
He fewest goals but had the biggest impact. So the way that they're going to work together this year, now that you've had a full season of them being together, do you feel like they'll work out the role that suits each of them best?
Well, we need flexibility. Can't just be, have your role and you stick to that all game. We need flexibility. I think Jacko was able to go forward. We haven't had Jacko forward much across the pre-season, so he got some minutes as a forward as well. And when he's forward and he's coming out of the ruck, we need him to go deep, which means others have to adjust around him. So there's bits and pieces like that, but I think the cohesion and the understanding of when each other are going to lead, and then what that creates for the next player is growing. The direction that they're giving the midfielders is growing as well, in terms of how they want the ball kicked to them, which we saw out there today. And it's a bit of JT's way. He had a period last year where he didn't hit the scoreboard for a month or so, but he was one of our better players because of what he can do up the ground. And those contest wins between the arcs are just as critical as kicking goals sometimes.
How about your ball movement out of defence, Justin, and the role that Brandon Walker played in that?
Yeah, well, just love how he plays on instinct, and he can break the first line of defence just because he bounces up with the ball, and his leg speed is able to break that first layer of defence, which opens the game up. So his last 2 weeks in our intra-clubs, he's probably been one of our better backs in both games. So demanded a spot today. He's been out of the team, I guess, for a while now on the back of some injuries, and then just a stable backline last year. But he's been able to force his way into it, and I thought he took another step forward today. And ball movement piece, there's some stuff we like, there's some stuff we need to work on, but it was a little bit hampered by the wind. Such a heavy cross breeze does make kicking look pretty ordinary at times.
He's played as the genuine small lockdown sort of defender and the rebounding defender. His rebounding work and run on the wing, especially last week as well. Is that what he will be more this year? Yeah,
well, we need flexibility. Obviously you got Judd and Clarkey as our high defenders, and defensively Walks is better suited to playing a little bit deeper. And it doesn't matter sometimes when you play high or deep, you need to start your ball movement up when you win it back, and having a small deep who can break a line, sometimes you actually get a little bit more space as a deeper defender. So we're after flexibility, but he's probably better suited a little bit deeper and a little bit closer to goal.
Playing Jackson as the number one ruck, I was from midfield last week. Are you preparing for him to start the season as your ruckman?
No, it's more in case we need to. What we find at times is if we don't give him enough ruck time across the pre-season, and then all of a sudden we have an injury and he needs to be that number one ruck, it makes him vulnerable to the heavy contest work, the heavy change of direction that the ruck demand. So it's more of a conditioning thing. Like you said, he played large minutes as a mid last week in the Origin game. It's a good opportunity to give him some ruck time this week.
Do you think the new ruck rules benefit him in terms of, it seems like the jumping rucks across the last week and some of these practices have benefited?
No, we think so. And I think you probably saw that today. So it'll unfold as to the differences in the ruck rules, but we're probably thinking along the same lines.
Darcy, a chance for next week?
Yeah.
Are you expecting to play next week?
Oh, he's a chance.
Yeah.
He's a chance. I haven't heard how he got through rehab today, so yeah, we'll work that out this afternoon and see what his plan is for next week.
Justin, Brendan Cox, Brendan Cox finishes on ice. Do you have?
Yeah, no, he got a knock in his calf, we think. So he had soreness in his calf. We think it's a knock. So it was hopefully precautionary, but yeah, fingers crossed.
Hayden Young didn't really get a full run at it last year, but he seems to he's got a full pre-season behind him now. What's that role looking like? It seems like he's floating forward a little bit.
Yeah, well, the last couple of years when he's been fit, we've used him in that role. So we'll continue to evolve. At times it probably looked like he was playing a little bit more of a higher forward role. So we've put our mids through there a little bit more this year this pre-season to try and get some more rotations and flexibility through the middle of the ground. But yeah, largely it'll be midfield minutes and a bit of time forward. He likes going forward and impacting.
The form that Murphy Reed's had and Neil Erasmus's work, do you feel like you've got the depth there to cover those guys when they go forward?
Yeah. We want to get Murph a few more minutes in the midfield. Spoken about that. I think Johnson, O'Meara, Wagner and Erasmus give us flexibility on the wings as well as inside. So feel like we're starting to get some flexibility through the middle of the ground and a high forward roles.
What do you reckon of Murphy's game today?
He probably continued on his pre-season. He's got some things he needs to work on, probably more on the defensive side of the game, but I think, he's probably our best ball user, forward to centre. He sees the game really well. He's got to swim between the flags and do the basics at times instead of the mercurial, but he's kicking inside 50. I know the forwards lick their lips leading at him.
Luke Ryan out there at the moment after it looked like he hurt his shoulder a little bit at training this week. Where's he sort of out leading into next week? Yeah,
I will work it out. There's others ahead of him at the moment. Others have had a bigger and better pre-season than him. Through no real fault of Luke, he's come back from that shoulder reconstruction, so he's only had a couple of intra-clubs as a run-in, where other guys and Walks included have had a longer run-in. Banners is a bit the same. Banners, if we played this game a couple of weeks ago, would have been probably our best side, but he did his quad, hurt his quad and missed a couple of weeks and has been pushed back a little bit in the pecking order. So we've got some good competition for spots at the moment, and if you haven't done a full pre-season, you've been left behind a little bit. So they've got plenty of time to catch up and earn their spot though. So there's good competition at the moment.
Usual to hear when Ryan has other people in front of him, like that does show how deep you are.
Yeah, I feel like Chappie has had a really strong pre-season. Judd has come into the team. Clucky's an All-Australian, and we've already spoken about Walks and the form he's been in. So yeah, it's good competition for spots, as I said, and keeps everyone on edge.